All right, welcome back. So we've done a lot of really good work here. We've got our main code set up. So now we have if mode value equals 0, we're going to play the piano code. Else if mode value equal 1, we're going to play the song mode. And then this is just kind of catch-all, just in case something goes wrong with the code and the mode value isn't 0 or 1, it'll just set it back to 0. There's only supposed to be really 2 modes. This code should never run if all the other code's working okay, but it also, if something does go wrong, it'll set us back to 0 at least. All right, now we need to also go through here and create code that takes the value of the mode button. So we know the mode button, it is being pressed. That means we want to cycle from 0 to 1 and vice versa. So let's build that code real quick. So we're going to ask the question first. If the mode button val is equal high, meaning the button is being pressed, that means we want to switch the mode val. So we're going to come here and we're going to actually add in a while loop. While mode button val equal high. So what this will do is, without this while statement, the code is so fast, it's going to flash through and do the mode button val high, do that code several times because you're holding the button down for a second. It might do it 30, 40, 100 times during that 1 second. So what this does is when you push it down, it'll get trapped in this while loop until you let go. So it'll only have 1 button read per press and not 1,000 as you go through. So while button val equal high, we're going to have the code basically just not do anything except read whether the button val is still being pressed. This is a common mistake to make, to not include a new read command, a new button read command inside your while loop. If you don't have this, it's not going and rechecking. Remember, that value was put, the high-low value was put in this variable up on this line of code. If you don't have this line of code in, it's just going to keep repeating forever because it's never checking to see if the button has been released. Here, it's checking the button every time it goes through the while loop, so hundreds of times a second, it's checking that button. The moment you let go, the button goes low, and then the while button value equal high skips the code and goes what's next. All right. So now that we have if mode button value equal high, while mode button equal high, mode value, we just read the button again. Now we actually do what we're trying to do. So in this case, we're going to ask the question where we are currently, so where mode is. So if mode button, if mode val, so if we're currently equal to 0, we need to increment or increase the mode val. So I'm going to do mode val plus plus. Remember, plus plus means add 1 to it, and that's not how you spell mode val. Mode val plus plus, and this is, let's see, if we are currently in piano mode, and this increases the mode val by 1. All right, so now that would put us in the mode val 2. We also, yeah, I think that's all we need there. And then now we need one more. So what if the other possibility with mode val equal 1? We don't actually need to do another else if. We can just do an else because there's really only those 2 possibilities. So we just say here, we say else, and then curly brace. We don't need parentheses for an else because it's going to run no matter what if the other one didn't run. So else, let's see, mode val, let's just copy and paste it so I don't make too many typos. Mode val equal, 1 equals 0. So that sends us back to 0 if we're not already at 0 and we push the button. So this one is if we are currently in song mode, and then mode val equal 0 puts us back into piano mode. Awesome. So that's really the code for the button. So we read the button, we do the, if we're at 0, add 1. If we're not at 0, that means we must be at 1 or some other crazy number, who knows. It sets us back to 0, so it gets us back on track. And then we're good. Now this doesn't actually do anything with the code, it just changes the value of the variable. Then when we step down here to this if statement, that's when we start saying, okay, if we're 0, play the piano. Well, we also want to turn those LEDs on and off. So let's go ahead and do that code real quick as well. So if mode equals 0, that means that we're in the piano mode. So let's turn the piano LED on. I'm going to come up here, copy the piano LED pin, and then come down here and do a quick digital write. And we're going to put in the first thing, the pin number we want to turn, and then we want to turn the piano high, semicolon. And then we're going to say turns on the piano LED. And we're going to copy and paste this. Because remember, we may have cycled through the code several times at some point. So we need to actually make sure the other one is turned off. We want to handle both LEDs at the same time. And this one's going to be the song LED. And we're going to want to turn that low, just in case we've already turned it high at some point in the past. And then here, song and off. Now I'm going to take these two lines of code and I want to include them down here in the play song code. Enter. And then this one could go low and this one could go high. Now we added this third else just as a catch-all to turn us back to 0, but maybe we don't need that anymore because we kind of have that happening up here. But we'll leave that code. We could probably eliminate that else statement and simplify our code a little bit. In fact, let's do that. Why leave something extra we don't need? We already have an else turning this mode val equals 0 where the mode val gets messed up. So we don't need it again down here. This is common in programming. You do something and then you're like, oh, I've already can do it better somewhere else, and you make that change as you go. Okay, so here's our two main structures. If mode val equals 0, or else if mode val equal 1. Actually, we don't need this else if, because we know there's only these two possibilities, so we can actually eliminate that. This code up here is handling whether to keep us to have only 0 and 1. So if we're not 0, we know we're 1. So we're either 0, playing the piano, or not 0, playing the song. Awesome. If we had like another mode val, we would be able to have an else if and then else at the end. Okay, that looks good. So this should work. So give this a try. It should turn, oops, let me switch these around, on, off. So when you load this code, I'm going to check mine for errors. I don't have a piano to check mine to see if it's working, but I can check for typos and errors. When you run this, when you hit the piano, hit the mode button, the light should switch from piano to song. And whenever the piano light is lit up, the piano should still work. And then when the song light's lit up, nothing should happen because we have no song code yet. Awesome. So that's the first part of this. We're going to now focus on the actual play song code. It's not that long. I wanted to show it to you because it's a really cool block of code. That's an important thing for programmers to know. It's called a traversal. So it moves across something and does things over and over and over again, which is the thing that computers are like really good at. All right, we'll do that in just a second.